If the season were to end today, the Jets would have 2 top 5 picks. Yes, it's that time of year again to talk about it. Let's get into it. Hey, what's going on? I'm Matt O'Leary back with another video. Today we'll be talking about the NFL draft in November. Again, I know, but as of right now, the Jets have 2 top 5 picks, so it's a pretty big storyline. Now, before we get started, just wanted to mention you can follow on social media at Matt O'Leary NY. If you haven't already, please check out the Just Jets podcast. New episodes every Wednesday. You can call in, leave your question or reaction to the game. I'll get it on the show if there's time, hopefully, and get as many as they possibly can. So let's get into today's episode where the New York Jets have 2 picks in the top 5 of the NFL draft. Now, I want to make this clear before I get into some prospects who would be available and all that stuff. It's going to be a video encompassing a few different things. I am not actively rooting for a tank this year, and it's different from last year because the Jets were at a dead end. Adam Gase was a sitting duck. Sam Darnold, at that point, a sitting duck. There was not a future with the New York Jets, where a first-time head coach with the youngest roster in the NFL and a rookie quarterback does have a future. So I am not rooting for the Jets to lose against the Houston Texans this week or any of the upcoming weeks. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter to me if the Jets have both picks in the top 5. Would it be nice? Sure, but I am more concerned about the development of the younger players this year. So if they don't end up here at 2 and number 5, not the end of the world. Just wanted to put that out there, and that's my overall take on it. I'm not rooting to lose games, but if the season ended today, again, they would have 2 top 5 picks. So I wanted to talk about different prospects that would be available in that spot and the different directions that the Jets could go. They can get creative. Obviously, we know they could trade back if they wanted to, but I just want, again, who would be available? They have 2 picks in the top 5. That's unheard of. Who are some of the guys that could be available? And I have a few names that I'm going to go through today. And obviously there's more. When you have the 2nd pick and 5th pick, there's a lot of people available, but these are potential targets. We'll start with the defensive ends. I'm assuming Thibodeau is going to be the number 1 overall pick. It would be insane if he's not. So he is out on this video. We'll start with the defensive end out of Purdue, George Karlaftis. He is a big boy, 6'4", 275. He plays on the edge, defensive end, obviously. He could play inside if need be. He's a versatile guy. And something that's surprising is his athleticism for his size. He's someone who I think a lot of people are putting inside the top 5. I've seen him in mocks go 2nd overall. I've seen him go as low as 7th, but somewhere in that range is where this guy's expected to go this year. 3.5 sacks as a junior, 9 tackles for a loss. And again, it's the athleticism at that size that is really enticing. And you know that Robert Saleh and this defense, they love the defensive line. They want to get as much pressure as possible. And this guy projects as a really good pass rusher who could do it on the outside and the inside. So if that's something that you're interested in, and maybe the Jets are, that would absolutely be someone who I think would be a target. My personal favorite for the number 2 pick, Aiden Hutchinson, defensive end from Michigan, 6'6", 265. So a little bit lighter in comparison to the Purdue defensive end, but these numbers, man, they jump off the page. 9 sacks, 11.5 tackles for a loss. He's a great athlete, a power rusher, can complement nicely with Carl Lawson on the other side. I think it would be a great fit. And yeah, again, there's so many different ways the Jets can go here, but based on what we've seen from Robert Saleh, what he wants this defense to be with Greg Olbrich, and just overall what Joe Douglas's philosophies tend to be, I absolutely think defensive end is in the play with either of these 2 picks. So these 2 guys obviously would make sense from that perspective. With Thibodeau off the board, those 2 are probably the next 2 best defensive linemen. Whether you want to put Hutchinson in front, it doesn't really matter to me. I prefer Hutchinson, but I am not anti George Karlaftis. I would be okay if that was one of the picks. Number 3 on my list is Evan Neal, offensive tackle from Alabama. He is gigantic, 6'7", 350. He's a big boy, has the ability to play guard or tackle, either left or right tackle, by the way. I don't really anticipate him playing guard at the next level. I think he is more than likely a right tackle. He's a big guy. He's versatile in both the pass and run. He plays with good speed for his size. Kind of reminds you of Mekhi Becton with the size and athleticism traits, which is something that Joe Douglas has prioritized in his 2 drafts so far, is size and athleticism. So Evan Neal, if you would like to, improve the offensive line, which Joe Douglas, that seems to be a priority for him, then Neal is absolutely someone who would be on the board from the New York Jets there. Or if you prefer, you can go Tyler Linderbaum, the center from Iowa. And I know what some people are thinking, a center in the top 5? Well, he has the potential to be a generational center. He's 6'3", 290. That's his weight's going to go up. He's just unbelievable. He's really put on a show at Iowa this year. He was someone who, when initially, obviously, the Jets had the Seattle pick, thought it was going to be around the 15 range, 20 range. I was like, all right, I'm all in on Tyler Linderbaum. Well, you might be all in on him with the Seattle pick, even at pick number 5. That's how good he is. I don't think he falls out of the top 12, maybe. Like, he might not make it past the Giants at 7 with their second pick. He is going to go very early, and it's because of the potential that he has. He looks like someone who you plug in, forget about from day one, which is exactly what Elijah Vera Tucker is at this point. He's nearing a Pro Bowl caliber pace as a rookie in Elijah Vera Tucker. So just anchoring that offensive line and having it be that strong for your second-year quarterback at that point in Zach Wilson would be huge. It would be unbelievable. Next up, Kyle Hamilton, safety from Notre Dame. He's an interesting one. 6'4", 219. He has rare size, athleticism, and length. He can cover tight ends. I understand he's a very, very good player. He's someone who's probably going to go top 7, I would say, at worst. I just would be surprised if the Jets went this direction. Number one, after trading Jamal Adams, who is similar in the sense that he's come down and make plays and stuff like that. Obviously, Kyle Hamilton's a lot bigger than he is and potentially a higher ceiling player than him. And I know safety's a need. I'm not saying don't draft safety. I just don't know if I'm doing it with a top 5 pick with everything else that the Jets have to improve on as well. So while Kyle Hamilton is absolutely a good player and could help on defense, I just, from a value perspective and from just what the Jets are looking to do on defense, and based on what we've seen from Saleh and what we've seen so far from Joe Douglas through, the 2+ years that he's been here and the 1 year that Robert Saleh's been here, I would be surprised if Kyle Hamilton was the pick, to be honest. Again, not a bad player. He's a very good player and a good prospect, but I don't see it for this team. I just don't. And the last guy on my list is someone who I like a lot as a prospect. I think he's tremendous, and that's Derek Stingley out of LSU. 6'1", 195, great in man coverage, good hands at the line of scrimmage. He's physical at the line of scrimmage, which is great, and elite level ball skills. Which that you would think on paper, okay, great. That fills a big need on this Jets team in the secondary. But to piggyback off of what we did, I don't think this staff from top to bottom really values that position as much as they do other positions. I think they would rather take swings on other positions and wait and take mid-round guys and just have this okay secondary and really thrive off your play at linebacker and defensive line. Now, granted, you are going to need to attack both positions in the draft, and obviously linebacker in the draft, and probably linebacker in free agency as well. And I'm not like, hey, maybe you bring in a veteran corner in free agency too. Like, this is not, it's not as simple as, okay, you have to take every single need this team possibly has in the draft, because you also are going to have, $60-70 million, maybe more after cuts. In cap space for next year. So it's a fluid situation that these draft picks, or the where they are projected right now at 2-5 are not written in stone. It could very well end up being different. I'm betting that it more than likely will on both accounts. I don't think the Jets are going to finish as the second worst team in the league. I don't think Seattle's going to finish as the fifth worst team in the league. We'll see. Again, I am someone who will be rooting for the development of the young quarterback, and hopefully he steals a couple of games and the Jets end up going, 5-12 or 6 wins might be tough at this point, but who knows? We'll see. We'll play it by ear, but these are some guys and some names that you'll probably be hearing a lot of this week because, as I said, I know it's November. I know there's 7 games left, but like it or not, it's a storyline right now. So we're talking about it. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm Matt O'Leary. I'll talk to you next time.